Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Mowchan with Terillium. We'll get started here in about 5 more minutes. Okay, it's 2 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. This is Mike Mowchan with Terillium. Thank you for joining the session this afternoon. This is Terillium's ERP Comparison web series. A couple things about the session this afternoon. It is an interactive session, so you do have the ability to pose questions. So as you look at your GoToWebinar attendee interface, you'll see the viewer window, and then there's a small control panel. And when you click on the grab bar for that, there's a section for questions, and that would allow you to type in questions as we go through this. So if you do have a question, feel free to send that to us, and then we will cover those questions in the Q&A session after Steve Mowchan does his presentation. So as I indicated, my name is Mike Mahana. I'm a NetSuite practice leader here at Terillium, and I'm joined by Steve Mowchan, who is a senior solution consultant, and Steve will be walking you through the demo of NetSuite. All right, so who is Terillium? Terillium is a Oracle ERP Cloud partner. We consult and sell J.D. Edwards as well as NetSuite. And a little bit about some of the things that we are proud about. We are very customer focused, and it shows in some of the awards that we've received over the years. Mid-size Partner of the Year, as well as some of the Best Customer Success Story awards. So we always focus on the client, and we definitely believe in the line that we're only as good as our last reference. So we do take a very customer or client focus in our implementations as well as consulting. More about the team here. We have 170 full-time employees across the U.S. Most of those employees are highly concentrated in the Cincinnati area, but we are spread out through the entire U.S. Our consultants have, on average, 16 plus years of consulting experience. So when you work with us, again, you're going to have a very client-focused experience with a knowledgeable team. So what is this? This is, again, the ERP Comparison web series. We're very proud of offering this. I think it's a great opportunity for individuals looking for a new ERP to get exposure to a couple of different solutions. And, you know, over the next couple of days, we'll have additional sessions. So today we're going to talk about NetSuite from 2 to 3 today. And then tomorrow we'll cover ERP Cloud. And then on Thursday, we'll have J.D. Edwards. And then really wrap up the session on Thursday afternoon with our president sharing some of the project success factors. And so I think that's a very good session for anyone looking at an ERP, whether it's one of these here or others. I think it's very valuable to have some of that insight. So hopefully you get a chance to attend all of those sessions. So let's talk about NetSuite a little bit more. NetSuite is as a unified data and a BI tool for the ERP space. It is a global ERP that basically is a single source of data. The platform itself has built-in flexibility so that you can customize the solution to fit your business needs. It does offer industry-specific solutions, whether you're a distributor, manufacturer, or services organization. It does have the common core platform, but then it does add in specifics to each of those industries. So it's a very highly customized tool for you. Not only does it allow you to run internal operations, but then it does give you the omni-channel commerce. And so what this does is NetSuite has a website that basically runs as a within the stack of NetSuite itself. You can also choose to integrate NetSuite into your existing commerce channel through connectors also. So there's a variety of options that you can run. But as a whole, we say, yeah, it's definitely much more than a traditional ERP system. So digging in a little bit deeper, some of the features, NetSuite's core functionality is the finance and accounting. It is a real-time general ledger. So anytime you post a bill, an invoice, or a journal entry, it posts automatically and your financials are updated. The business of the health of the business can be understood in real time and then make adjustments as necessary. So that's a key feature of that. And not only in addition to your standard AR and AP, NetSuite will manage taxes. So if you have a very simple tax system, NetSuite can manage that or you can integrate into some of our partners such as Avalara. NetSuite also tracks fixed assets, and this is an area we see a lot of growth where people, our companies, as they continue to grow, want to add assets. NetSuite does a good job of tracking the fixed assets for you automatically, and can also handle cash management and payment management. So all of those nice features really within the finance and accounting area. As you continue to grow and financial planning becomes a big piece, you can use NetSuite's internal system as well as Oracle's PBCS for planning, budgeting. It gives you the ability to do flexible modeling as well as analysis, to evaluate, your budget. You can handle multiple currency. You can also do billing, so subscription billing or advanced rating for billing purposes, and so this is a nice feature. We talked about the BI tool, and the financial reporting within NetSuite is just a portion of that. So it is on demand, real time, as I'd indicated. It will allow you to have multiple outputs, whether that's emailing it to someone on your team or a stakeholder, as well as exporting it to Excel or to a PDF. So multiple outputs for you. You can do consolidation, so if you have multiple subsidiaries, NetSuite will be able to support that both within the US or international. Revenue management, as we continue to, as you continue to grow, revenue management may be a piece within there, and so that supports that, as well as mentioned before, global accounting, where we have multiple currencies or maybe multiple companies. Nice, strong financial features within the application. It wouldn't be an ERP if it did only financials. So NetSuite does handle order management. You can manage quotes to orders to invoices, all within the same solution. Strong feature. If you do send a quote out of NetSuite, you can easily convert that to an order without having to re-enter everything. And so it's a nice linking system that will allow you to get a full end-to-end for order management capabilities. Not only can you do the quoting and the pricing, but if you do have the opportunity where a client wants to return something, you can track the RMA straight from the original order. So it's a tightly integrated system. If you guys are doing manufacturing or production, NetSuite, again mentioned, has very specific verticals that it can cater to, and production or manufacturing is one of those. You can do work order management as well as planning and scheduling. And then in the warehouse, procuring, managing the inventory, all strong features within NetSuite's application, as well as supply chain management. And NetSuite has the capability to manage your customers. So as you use the omni-channel or your website to bring in leads, it can manage those leads coming in and turn them into prospects that eventually turn them into customers. So NetSuite manages that full life cycle from lead all the way through them being a customer. You can add marketing automation so that you can stay in constant contact with your clients through email or through marketing programs. And then as you continue to grow and your team grows, you can manage your human capital management within NetSuite. It does have a new core HR functionality as well as payroll. So you can do your payroll within NetSuite or continue on your existing payroll provider and then pass that information into NetSuite. And across multiple platforms, we do have project management. So if that's something that for your manufacturing or your services organization that you need, we do. Those are all features within NetSuite. So hopefully beginning to see a common theme here about the BI capabilities, and NetSuite, because it is a fully essentially born in the cloud, you can engage through NetSuite in a multitude of platforms, whether it's on your computer, your tablet or on your mobile device. All of those can be used to provide real-time information through dashboards and various reporting. One of the other features that NetSuite has is it has 2 upgrades a year. So it makes sure that 100% of their clients are on the same version. And so what that does for you is you get new features, new capabilities that as your company continues to grow, you can take advantage of. And so this is, again, a strong feature. There's nothing that as a customer that you would have to do to enable the new features. NetSuite gives you the opportunity to preview those new up and coming features, but they will roll that out to you automatically. And we've seen a lot of clients that if you were to go ask their end users when the upgrade happened, they wouldn't be able to tell you. And so it's a nice feature that doesn't require a large IT staff or really any IT staff to take advantage of those new features. And so NetSuite has this rollout, this phased process that they do in each of the upgrades that happen twice a year. So a little bit more about NetSuite as a company. They, like I said before, they were the first cloud company. Their product was launched 100% in the cloud. They have grown quite a bit from 1998. They now have 5,500 total employees. 40,000 plus organizations and subsidiaries globally run NetSuite. So if you can imagine how troubling that could be with 2 upgrades a year, well, that just talks about the integrity and the robustness of the program to be able to manage 40,000 plus upgrades twice a year. So again, strong tool. They had over $1 billion revenue run rate in 2016, and they were acquired by Oracle in late 2016, and now run as a global business unit. So strong solution, strong organization that just continues to grow and meeting its customers' needs. So, like I said, we are Terillium. We know NetSuite. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Steve Mowchan, who will walk you through the actual demo of the product. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Hello, everybody. Appreciate you joining us this afternoon or morning or evening, depending on where you may be. My name is Steve Mowchan. I am a Senior Solutions Consultant with Terillium. I'll be taking you through a navigation demo with NetSuite and then a quick order-to-cash scenario. So what you're looking at right now is a dashboard of NetSuite. These dashboards can be out of the box. They are role-generated or role-oriented, meaning if you look in the upper right-hand corner, I'm logged on as a CEO. The dashboards are defined with portlets and information geared toward each of those roles. You'll see me switch roles several times as we go through the demo, and I play different personnel throughout the order-to-cash process. These roles are also where the underlying security lies. So you only see what you're supposed to see, whether it's data-oriented or application-oriented security. With over 40,000 customers, it's the first cloud solution. The layout of this helps users become productive and efficient. We're looking at a complete ERP. Starting here in the top center of our screen, we have some KPIs. All the stuff that you see here with all these portlets is completely configurable or personalized, ability to personalize. The KPIs here have receivables, inventory, expenses, income. Traditionally, this was very difficult to get in one place without a BI solution. Mike mentioned the underlying BI component of NetSuite. This is all built in. There was nothing that we had to do to integrate anything or create all this material. It's part of those 300 plus BI components that can come with NetSuite. Below that, we have a subsidiary navigator portlet. If you have multiple locations or multiple divisions or companies that you want to be able to track individual data for, Subsidiary Navigator makes it very easy. All of the information in graphs and charts on this dashboard are tied to the Subsidiary Navigator. For example, if I click on, I just want to see the US1 subsidiary, notice everything else refreshes and the data changes to show only the US1 subsidiary. Really, really beneficial, again, to have a quick snapshot on how we're doing with any of the subsidiaries under the main headquarters. You have settings and preferences that are individual to the users. They can cross things like dates, date formatting, and currencies, appearance of each of the screens, how you want to do, set some defaults for transactions, so on and so forth. One thing that I love about NetSuite is some of the help that you have. You have help text under any label on any of these applications, not just a setup or preferences or configurations. It's all across every application that you have labels, field labels. And what's even better is that the help information is actually helpful. I've seen some ERP systems where the help just basically describes the label description in a different way without giving you any more information. So I love that about NetSuite. In addition to the actual label help text, the field help text, you have a help center. This is where you can quickly go to look up anything you want. And again, you have a search capability to search on whatever you may be interested in finding. There's different help levels within NetSuite. You've got your help center, you have a suite answers, which gives you more complex answers, and then also a forum, a very good user forum if you ask questions that you can't find the answer to anywhere. NetSuite allows users to be really efficient because you can jump and shortcut in many, many different ways. One of the things we see here are quick ways to understand, what do I need to do today? There's a reminders portlet up here in the upper left-hand corner. Again, you can configure what is important to me. What do I need to be paying attention to throughout my day that I might need to act upon? As any of these portlets I said are configurable, these are very easy to change. I'm going to add invoices overdue. Save it. There it is. Oh, lots of invoices overdue. Better get to work. If I click on these, the drill down in NetSuite is effectively anywhere that you would expect it to be. I've drilled down now into a report. These reports are easy to customize as well. These reports have filters and ability to see the data in the layout that you want, and then you can also drill down. I could drill down into a transaction record just from within a report. So I'm drilling down into a report from my reminder, and then I'm drilling down into the actual transaction as well if I'd like to do that. And sometimes the reports allow you to drill down and link to a customer directly, as I can do here. From within the transaction, I can bring up the customer record. Again, this is throughout NetSuite, you'll see this. Talk about more ways to have shortcuts and to be efficient. There's a new bar over here, that's what it's called. It's anything that I want to do new. Maybe I want to create a new CRM event or phone call or task. I want to enter a new lead or a new customer contact. Again, I can personalize this to the things that I want for my new bar. Looking elsewhere on our dashboard, we have a top 10 items by quantity sold. Each of these portlets is like 20 portlets in one, 20 graphs in one. Why? Because you can change these to different qualifications, and it will change the data. You have different output types, different views. So if I want to take this with me, I can print it, can download the image as a PDF or an image, quickly add it to a PowerPoint at the last minute. All this data is real time again. It's a reminder, this is all real time. If I want to personalize my page and add a portlet, lots of options here. Again, I didn't build any of this. A lot of this can come with NetSuite. KPI receivables. Well, maybe I don't want receivables. Maybe I want inventory. Looks like everything is drag and drop, and it is. Maybe I want then the reminders again to always be in the upper left-hand corner. Simple. And it's saved automatically. I don't need to go to IT. I don't need to have anybody build or deploy anything. It's really great because the IT bottleneck in a lot of this is avoided. And then as quickly, if I wanted to remove it, I can do so. A lot more. You can continue to add. You know, it can go on and on as many as you want, as much as you feel is necessary. We've got a nice CEO financials, almost spreadsheet looking thing down here, which is great. So powerful, so much information in one place. And oh yeah, it keeps updating throughout the day. You can refresh that at any time and get the most up-to-date data. Recent records can be not literally a lifesaver, because I'm not going to use it that way, but it can really be beneficial to you if you go to lunch or get a phone call, get interrupted, step away. What was I working on? Oh yeah, I remember the invoice. I can jump right to it and even go directly into edit if I want. Oh yeah, I was looking at this customer, so on and so forth. You have shortcuts. If you anything that you don't have on a dashboard that you don't feel like adding, you can quickly add it to a shortcut, and then you've got your home page. There are menus. I'll quickly show you a menu. Whoop, there they are. You don't need them. You don't need to drill down 3, 4, 5, 6 layers deep to get the application or the report that you need. Everything can be covered by portlets or reminders or shortcuts, etc. Again, quick ways to jump around to be efficient in NetSuite. I'm going to use the shortcut and bring up a customer list. Now, what I'm going to show you is probably one of the most unique things I've ever seen in an ERP. So I've got my list here. Shows me all my customer names, different columns of information, sales rep, my status. Seems pretty straightforward. If I wanted to change some sales reps here, from Sue Stacy, if I wanted to change her account to Steve Golden, well, I see 3 Sue Stacy accounts here. I'd have to go and edit normally, change it, edit, change it, edit, change it, and save all 3 records. Well, there's also an inline editing option in NetSuite. So I'm going to turn on this edit feature. What that will do is allow me to edit directly in this list. Now you see editable columns have a little pencil at the top. So if I want to go in and change Sue's records, and look, I'm not only changing one, tab out of that, I changed all 3 records all at one time. Did not need to go into each record. They were all changed here immediately. Now, there's ways to filter, and there's other mass maintenance options that you can do, but I love this inline editing. How quick was that? How sure was I that I got all 3 done? Again, I can't probably overspeak the power behind this type of functionality. And within this, any of these list type applications, you can quickly turn them into export into CSV and export into Excel, export to a PDF or print. Again, with just a click of the button. So all that is under some of these icons here in the upper left-hand corner of the list. There are some really good search capabilities of data in NetSuite. If I just want to look up Bob, what do I got for Bob? Got an opportunity, got a customer, got contacts, got vendors named Bob. Well, maybe I just want to see customers with Bob, so I can type in CUS and prefix that. It isn't only for master data, like items and customers and vendors. It's also for invoices and other transactional data. So if I want to just type in an invoice number, it'll find that. Okay, well, at this point, kind of covered a quick navigation of NetSuite. I want to go in and show, well, one other thing quickly, one other thing. There's also dashboards at the entity level. So let's quickly take a look at one of those. If I go in and look at, I have a dashboard for a customer. So I can have all the same type of information at the customer level at a glance. And again, I can customize this or personalize this and configure it different than I have my main dashboard that we started on. So it's kind of dashboards galore. It's really a fantastic solution where you can have different looks where you need them. So we're going to go into an order to cash demo. I'm going to start out, I'm going to change my role to a sales rep. There is a lot of workflow that's offered through NetSuite. You can have approval emails, you can have you can call them customizations, but effectively they're within NetSuite, within the confines of what they're allowing you to do, so it's not really a customization. It will follow through and live on as you get upgraded and you don't have to reapply workflow. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to create, let's see, let's go in and create a new sales order. Okay, so I'm going to go to the new bar. Notice that the colors are different here. I've got red. Again, as a reminder, as you get into each role, you can change your defaults. So we've got a sales order screen here. I can search for a customer by simply starting to type the customer's name. You don't need to know a customer account number or an item specific number. You can just type in item descriptions as you can customer information. We're going to keep this on the simple side today. So we have terms that default. We have We could have a location, a fulfillment location default. I'm just going to go in and start entering an item. So as I start again keying the item name, it'll bring that up for me. And I've got the ability to type in my quantities. It immediately shows me my available amount. I have internal pricing specific to customer. The pricing in NetSuite is nice. You can do quantity breaks. You can do groupings of customers and items for pricing to help keep maintenance down. I'll go ahead and save this order at this point. Again, just nice and easy. You don't have a lot to type in. You can type in a customer PO number if you need one. You can make any of these fields required if you'd like. Notice there's a little summary up here. We've got subtotals, so you can have discounted pricing. You can add taxes, shipping. You do have the ability to do shipping and have carriers and some integration out of the box into like the UPS World Ship, into FedEx. So it's nice and simple to do that. Okay, I've saved my order. Note that my next step in this is pending fulfillment. I've got a big blue fulfill button right here. I'm not going to do that, but I set this up this way to show you how simplistic you can have NetSuite. Maybe the person entering the order is also the one that's going to assign, okay, I know we've got enough inventory so I can fulfill it. If you've got a really small staff, you might have the need for something like this. Larger staff is what I'm going to show you next and a different role. You can tie this down and not have the blue fulfill button show up if it's not designated as a security for that role. Again, it tells me what I need to do next. You can get more complex too. You just don't have to have a one-step fulfill button. You can do a pick, pack, ship, where you have different statuses as you fulfill the order and break that out into a picking, packing, and shipping state. You can tie this into data collection scanners, barcode scanners, and have those integrate with NetSuite as well. A lot of customers do that. So now I've got the order here, and we can look at our order numbers 18937, but we don't necessarily need to know that for sure. I'm going to go switch over to warehouse operations because the next step is fulfill. Now we got orange. Maybe the warehouse operations guy is a fan of the University of Tennessee or University of Texas. Look at my reminders. Orders to fulfill. I have 302 orders to fulfill. Let's click that. I'm going to show you fulfillment of a single solitary order, the order that we just placed for Euler Corporation. But note that this fulfillment activity can be multiples. You could have multiple fulfillments at once. You could set this to run on a scheduler and fulfill every order that's at the fulfillment status. I did not select the location for my order, so I'm not going to use the default. I'm going to go open it up. So now here's my order at the top. Again, I could click this fulfill button and submit that off, or I could go into the actual fulfillment record, which is what I'm going to do here, where I can again review. Remember, I did not pick a location to default from, so I'm going to need to pick it here. I see it says I've got 109 on hand and I need my 40. Should be able to save that then. And take a note, I didn't see my order come up before, but we've got emails that went out. So as I created my order, I've now got an order confirmation that was sent. So that automatically went out as I created my order. And here I have now fulfilled my order. So we're done there. So up next, I'm going to go into Controller, and I'm going to invoice the order. If you take a look now, here's my fulfillment message. So I got an email that sent out, said my order number has been fulfilled, tells me the items, the quantities, pricing. Obviously all real time, you saw that just pop up as I completed the transaction. So now I'm looking at sales orders to invoice. I'm in the finance role. Similar to what we saw with the fulfillment, I'm going to show you how to invoice a single particular sales order, but you could also do this on a scheduler to do everything that's ready, or I could select multiples all at once. And here's our order down here, so I'm going to select that. Notice you can have different types of sales. You can have cash sales, and this one, of course, was an invoice. So I'm going to bring up this invoice here. A lot of times people will run invoicing at the end of the day, and fulfillment you'll run on a scheduler multiple times throughout the day, maybe at the beginning or middle of shifts. Similar to the fulfillment and the sales order, do you get the sense that you've seen this layout before? One thing that's fantastic about NetSuite from a user perspective is the layout of the applications is the same or very, very similar across the different applications. That's not always the case with every ERP. You kind of have to figure out, oh, they have tabs over here, or they've got sub lists over here. The buttons are different. Everything in NetSuite all looks and feels the same, which makes it, again, very easy to get to know and become efficient across all the different applications you might have to use. So I've got my invoice. Everything looks good. Terms look good. Pricing is good. It's not a taxable product or customer. Excuse me. So again, just doing a quick look at the invoice. This all could have been done behind the scenes, and nobody has to kind of manage it if you don't need to. As an invoice is created here, and I save it, you'll end up having the invoice generated, and it can be immediately kicked off via EDI or email to the customer. Obviously, you can still print it like the good old days or the old days. So there we have that process. Now, we're going to pretend that we are a few weeks into the future. Okay, so I'm going to show a payment, receiving and applying payment to an invoice. All right, so here's the order that we had placed long time ago, 2 minutes ago. And you see again the big blue button. This invoice is open. I'm going to accept payment on this. Because I am clicking accept payment from within an invoice, the system is going to think that I have a payment specific to this invoice. So if I look at my open invoices, it pre-selects the one where I came from. It shows me any discount that could be taken and the payment amount. And up here, I'm applying a particular payment amount. Or if I had just a generic payment that's supposed to cover several invoices, I could put a different amount in here, click auto apply, have it apply across the oldest open invoices, so I have some options there. But again, for our purposes here, just a simplistic, we're doing one payment to the one invoice that we were working with, and now you see deposited. And again, the big green confirmation that says it was saved and all's good. Like that, like the green one. So again, nobody has to figure out, did it save? Did it save? Yeah, it saved, confirmation right there. To go back and kind of go come full circle on this, going back to the CEO role. Remember we talked about our whole KPIs and such and our financials. So let me refresh this and look at today's number. Goes from 0 to 520. So again, real time. Everything's connected. Same database. All the underlying BI is all integrated. If I want to click and look at fiscal month, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, it's going to go in and look at my transactions, both of which were from Euler Corporation this month. And look, I can look at jump to the customer record, or jump to a detail report where it will explode out the multiple invoices. And again, I can then drill down again from here. Really good stuff. So at this point, I've kind of come to the end of well, we had a technical problem, which you can tell that it was actually a live demo because there's always a technical problem, it seems, and it was with our phone line did drop. So I'm not really sure when it dropped. We will have the ability to go back and watch this. If you have questions on pieces that you might have missed, we did go through the end a order to cash scenario where what I did was enter a sales order, fulfilled and invoiced that sales order, and came back around to show that the CEO financials was updated with that transaction. So you probably were, if you were following along, you still saw what I did, but you didn't hear anything. So if people have questions about the process that we went through, about NetSuite itself, about the order to cash scenario, my point of the demo is that I showed you a very simplistic, straightforward demo to see how easy it is to use NetSuite and how easy it is to process from an end user view. But also, you have the complexity necessary of adding pick, pack, ship, of adding data collection, of adding in additional requirements as necessary, as you've got over 40,000 NetSuite companies across the globe, 40,000 of them. So obviously, there's some that are a little more complex than others, and NetSuite can handle all of them. So at this point, that's the end of my demo. I will turn it back to Mike for any questions and a wrap-up.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. So at this point, we would open up. If you guys have questions, you can type them into the the meeting window. I mentioned before, there's a little grab bar on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side of the viewer window that you can open up, and there's a section for chat. So we take that back, and if you have questions, you can send them there. Give it a second here. If there's any questions. Okay. It does not appear that there are any questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap up this session. I appreciate everyone's time today to learn more about NetSuite, and then we do have the additional sessions this afternoon, or I'm sorry, the rest of this week. Let me go back to that screen here. Sorry. So tomorrow we have the session on the ERP Cloud, and then on Thursday, JD Edwards, and then again that project success factors are available. So again, thanks everyone for your time, and have a great day.